imagine, like, what does the mother do? Does she call up her ex-son-in-law like, hey, ex-son-in-law, what's going on?
Hey.
Remember last year at Christmas dinner when you sat at that table and cursed my daughter out, read her for filth?
Yeah, I remember.
Yeah, come on over this year. Let's do that again. It was so much fun. What's up, y'all? It's your girl Roxie with Roxie Says, and we're going to talk about it. I hope that you all had an amazing Thanksgiving. I hope that you enjoyed your time spent with family, unlike these people who we're about to speak about, but I hope that you had a good time. Why is it that everyone wants to act up around the holidays, huh? Let's get into this first story. It's called, Am I the A-hole for sitting on my husband's lap during Thanksgiving dinner because all the chairs were taken? I, 28 female, have been with my husband Sean, 33 male, for 2 years, married for 5 months. Most of his family are decent people, but his mom can be a little of a passive aggressive and tends to criticize me a lot. Sean sees it as her still not getting used to me being around, but I don't know because she treats his ex, Julissa, good. Mother-in-law says that Julissa has been around the family for ages and her past with Sean never affected her relationship with her. Fine, I never minded her attending every holiday and being around till yesterday. Every holiday? First of all, we have a problem because why hasn't Sean nipped that in the butt? Even if his new wife wasn't even in the picture. How does Sean feel about his ex being at
every holiday dinner?
And they're not together anymore? Off the bat, it can only be two things. Either Sean still wants to be with Julissa, or Sean has no backbone and he can't stand up to his mommy. But let's continue. We had Thanksgiving dinner at my mother-in-law's house. Sean went there before me, and when I arrived, it was already dinner time. Everyone was seated, and I saw that all chairs were taken. I asked mother-in-law why she didn't save me a seat, and she said,
sorry,
and that one of her granddaughters decided to show up last minute and the chair was taken. Okay, did you ask your husband why? Okay, you asked your mother-in-law. Did you ask your husband? I looked at her, then at Julissa, who was sitting next to Sean, and tried to point out how I was more deserving of her chair since I'm the daughter-in-law. I know I shouldn't have said it.
I know.
Mother flat out said that
Julissa is as much a family
as me, and that it was
rude to imply otherwise.
Julissa was nodding confidently while glancing up at me. So Julissa was sitting at the table like,
Yeah, and what about it?
Are you kidding me? And what is Sean doing during this time? Because I ain't heard from him yet. He just sitting there eating his sweet potatoes.
Girl.
I was so upset I wanted to leave, but decided to just sit on my husband's lap and act as casual as possible. I sat on his lap asking if he was okay with it. Don't worry, I'm petite, he's strong built, and started eating so casually while smiling and complimenting the food and mentioning to Sean how warm and comfortable his lap was now and then. The table went awkwardly silent. Brother-in-law would try to break the silence and change the subject, but it somehow goes back to being awkward. Mother-in-law and Julissa were barely eating and were staring at each other, then at me, eyes wide open. So I get that she feels like she's proving a point because she's sitting on his lap. She's like, you know, this
My man. I can sit on his lap and you can't.
But I think that there's a bigger issue here. Why is your husband not saying anything in this situation? Why didn't your husband save you a seat in the first place? He knew that you were coming. Instead of saving the seat next to him for you, his wife, he let his ex sit there? Or even if his mother said Julissa's sitting there, Sean should have said, no, my wife is sitting here, and if there's not enough space for my wife and I, we can find somewhere else to eat. But clearly, Sean doesn't feel that strongly about you, wifey.
What's going on?
Minutes later, Julissa excused herself to the bathroom, and so did mother-in-law. Okay, so they used the bathroom together too? Okay. It was still awkward, but I did my best to focus on dinner. Sean was eating as well. Later, there was just so much tension, and mother-in-law was barely able to speak after Julissa left, early, like right after dinner. Sean and I went home, and mother-in-law tried calling, but then called Sean and texted me saying what I did was inappropriate and that I ruined Thanksgiving dinner.
Girl,
and made it awkward. She said it wasn't her fault chairs were taken, and I could have dragged the chair from the kitchen, but acted childishly and made Jalissa and family uncomfortable with how inappropriate I was. And OP posted an edit. She said, I need to mention that even if I took a chair from the kitchen, there was not enough space at the dinner table to fit the chair. Everyone was sitting next to each other. Girl, I don't care about any of that. I'm still on your husband's ass because why didn't he say anything? Clearly, mother-in-law wants Sean to be back with his ex-girlfriend, Jalissa. Clearly, she likes her. Clearly, Jalissa is with the shits as well. She wants to be back with Sean. If Sean can't see this, he's an idiot. But one thing that we know for sure from this entire situation is that you nor your feelings are a priority to Sean. And a lot of times in situations like this, it is easy to blame the mother-in-law, the father-in-law, the sister-in-law, whatever in-law. It's easy to blame those other people than to blame the person closest to you, who is supposed to be your first line of defense when dealing with these people, especially if they're disrespecting you. He is also to blame here, sis. So this comment reads, not the a-hole, but this whole ordeal could have been avoided had your husband done what he should have done and gave you his seat while he went to fetch another one. In fact, he should have already had an empty seat beside him waiting for you. Yeah, exactly. I can't imagine putting my wife in such an awkward situation. Like, ridiculous. Are you kidding me? And someone else added, yes, why didn't the husband make sure that there was space for his wife? Why is the husband okay with his ex being treated better? Yeah, what is going on? Another question, why was the ex even there? Yes. Why was the ex even there? Now, I know that there are some families where exes are still invited to family gatherings, especially if there are children involved. So I guess it depends on the family dynamic and the relationship between the ex and the current spouses and things like that. But in this situation, it doesn't look like there were any children involved. Mother-in-law, your son is now married to someone else.
You need to respect that.
And you need to stop inviting his ex-girlfriend. And that's why I'm forced to believe that Shawnee Pooh wants his ex to be there. Because let's say that he just has a controlling and overbearing mother. I think even in that situation, Sean would have protested even a little bit. There would have been something, but from this post, it seems like not a peep, not a peep of protest or of anything came out of Sean. He just sat there and ate his macaroni and cheese. Someone left this comment. My guess is that mother-in-law and ex are both still hoping that ex can get back with Sean and that he's just so used to his mother's antics that it doesn't even occur to him to question things. So that means that Sean is just oblivious. He's oblivious to what his mom does. He's oblivious to how other people's actions affect his wife's feelings. He's just in la la land. And that's a problem too. Girl, good luck, okay? Because clearly Sean doesn't see a problem with it. You didn't even see a problem with Sean not seeing a problem with it, okay? We had to call that out for you. Mother-in-law gonna keep doing what she doing because Sean ain't gonna check her. This is just a hot mess all the way around, everybody involved, but everyone did rate OP not the a-hole. I just feel like in situations like these, people know who and who not to play with. Is mother-in-law wrong? Yes. Is ex-girlfriend wrong? Yes. Is Sean wrong? Yes. But OP, baby, I need you to stand up. I need you to stand up and I need you to teach people how they can and cannot treat you. Because if I was OP and I came there and I had no seat, okay, I would have been like, oh, hey, babe, where's my seat? And he has nothing to say. His ex is sitting next to him. He's not making room for us to sit somewhere else. And I have to sit on his lap. I'm leaving.
I'm leaving.
Oh, and if you are watching this and you are one of those mother-in-laws, stop doing that. Stop doing that. If you are a son and you let your mom talk crazy to your girlfriend, to your wife, stop doing that. Okay, listen, I know that a lot of people, I don't know if it's generational. Is it generational, cultural? I don't know. But a lot of people were raised with the notion that you cannot speak back to your parents. Obviously, at a young age, you cannot speak back to your parents or be rude to your parents. But especially as children get older, a lot of parents forget that their children are now adults, right? Free thinking people. You know how many adults let their parents talk to them crazy, and allow them to disrespect them in their boundaries just because they're their parent? No, baby. No, you speaking up for yourself and teaching someone how to treat you, I don't give a damn who it is. That's not being disrespectful. Of course, there's different ways to communicate that, right? I'm not telling you to go to your mama and go curse her out. No, that's not what I'm saying. But you can let your family, whoever it is, know that they're not going to speak to you a particular way, or you're just not going to be around them and they can't be around you. And if no one ever told you that you're allowed to check your parents respectfully, but allowed to check and set boundaries with your parents, I'm letting you know it's okay, especially for your mental health. Child, it's okay. All right. Sometimes parents need to be put on timeout, especially this mother. Let's get into it. My mother keeps inviting my ex-husband to stay with us for holidays. Am I the a-hole for saying that it's disrespectful to me? I, 44, moved in with my mother 3 years ago to put myself through nursing school. In fact, I was invited to move in if I was going to pursue a nursing career. Oh, that's nice. My daughter, who's 10, is with me and moved in with my mother also. Mother and I have never had a good relationship. She left me to her mother to raise, and I had hoped this would bring us closer. It did, but it was short-lived. The first Thanksgiving that we were there, she invited my ex-husband to stay with us. She put him on the couch. Much to my objections about how he talks to me, he is angry that I filed for divorce and says hurtful things to me. This happened that Thanksgiving at the dinner table after I had cooked the entire Thanksgiving meal virtually alone. I couldn't finish eating after he started in on me and I left the table. So you mean at the Thanksgiving table with everyone around eating the food that you just cooked, your ex-husband is there talking to you crazy and your mom is just... Child. Y'all need some fight up in you, okay? This is horrible. My mother was at the table also and didn't speak up on my behalf at all. I realize I'm a grown woman and I need to stand up for myself, which I do, but it causes more issues. This went on every Thanksgiving and Christmas for 3 years. I should add that in the 3 years, he also has only ever saw our daughter when he was invited to stay in our home and during the summer when she was out of school. So he barely even sees his daughter. As a grandmother, is that okay with you? Enough to where you want him sleeping on your couch for the holidays so he can berate your daughter? This past year, I decided to not have Thanksgiving at home because he was invited again, and I was told that I was being selfish and not putting my own daughter first. Daughter and I had discussed this, and she sees the tension and told me she was okay with me staying out of town. Christmas came, and I had major surgery days before Christmas. He was invited again. He came to our home with a cold, which I didn't appreciate because I was recovering from a major surgery and I ended up sick as well. My recovery time went from 2 weeks to a month because of this. I had repeatedly told my mother that I didn't appreciate her inviting him to stay with us in our home and that I felt it was completely disrespectful to me in how I was talked to when he was there. So this guy just rolls around every holiday like Santa Claus to sit at the table and curse you out, and mama keeps inviting him over and over and over for 3 years. Mama would be cut off too. So like she said, I was told that I was selfish and that I needed to put my daughter first. This was the last straw. I moved halfway across the state. Okay, so she did move and took my daughter with me. I'm refusing to speak to my mother over this, but now I'm wondering, am I the a-hole? Girl, no, you are not. Edit. Thank you for all your support. I was so conflicted and feeling guilty, like I had truly become the a-hole for self-preservation. You all are exactly right. My egg donor was the one in the wrong. Thanks for the well wishes and encouragement. All this girl said was that this is disrespectful, and she has to come online to see if she's justified in just telling her mom, look, mom, what you're doing is disrespectful to me. You're allowed to say that. And I know for some people, breaking up, because it's technically like a breakup, but breaking up with your family is very hard. This dynamic, this dysfunction, this disrespect, it's all you know. So some people grow accustomed to it. It's like,
yeah, that's just how my mom acts. Yeah, that's just how my dad acts.
But it's slowly eating away at you. If you get anxiety, right? If you start feeling nervous or bothered when you see your mom's name come across your phone, or your dad, or your sister, your brother, your whatever, that is a person that you might have to consider setting some boundaries with and taking a step away from. not the a-hole. What your mother did was disrespectful, and she had no right to inflict him on you. And OP had replied, and she said, thank you. I felt completely disrespected and couldn't understand why she was saying that I was the selfish one. If everything was amicable and we were able to remain friends, I might not have felt that way. But with him speaking to me the way he did, I just couldn't stomach it. Can you imagine, like, what does the mother do? Does she call up her ex-son-in-law like, hey, ex-son-in-law, what's going on?
Hey.
Remember last year at Christmas dinner when you sat at that table and cursed my daughter out, read her for filth?
Yeah, I remember.
Yeah, come on over this year. Let's do that again. It was so much fun. Yeah, I'm happy that she moved. I'm happy that she chose herself and she chose her daughter, because her daughter also should not be sitting at a table seeing her father talk crazy to her mother, because you don't want your daughter thinking that that is okay. You don't want your daughter growing up and saying, okay, well, this guy's cursing me out. Well, my dad was cursing my mom out all the time, so I guess that's just how it goes. No. And mom, how do you have the nerve to tell someone else to think about their daughter when you're not even thinking about yours? Make it make sense, boo. What are you talking about? Someone else commented, they said, always do what is best for you and your daughter. Enjoy your new life and enjoy being away from those two toxic people. Yeah, let them have dinner together. Let them celebrate the holidays together. You don't have to be there. Someone asked, how did she react when you told her you were leaving? Good for you for standing up for yourself. OP said, she told me, see you later. So she don't care. Either she's trying to act like she doesn't care or she genuinely doesn't care. Either way, OP is doing the right thing by moving away. Obviously, she is not the a-hole. And I don't care if her mom called her back crying and apologizing. Baby, we gonna need a couple of months on timeout before I can even consider speaking to you again. We gonna put you in the corner on timeout for a couple of months. Especially when she's leaving and you're so unapologetic about it, like,
Okay, girl, you could go. Like, okay.
oh, okay. So she's technically choosing her deadbeat, verbally abusive ex-son-in-law over her daughter. And yes, the daughter did mention that they have always had somewhat of a strained relationship. And I also saw in another comment that the mom has always treated the daughter not that nice and has always treated her brother like a golden child. You know, we have a lot of families like that too, where the son is everything, okay? He's like and the daughter is the one who's like cleaning the whole house, okay, washing everybody's clothes, cooking dinner for everybody, and the son is just, you know, laid up on the bed or playing video games, and he don't got to do a damn thing. We've all seen that family dynamic. We're not gonna play like we haven't, okay? So either way, I'm happy that OP has chosen what's best for herself, what's best for her daughter. Hopefully her mom comes around and realizes her mistakes and gives her a genuine apology and she displays changed behavior. But if she doesn't, oh well. OP, it is not your job to fix your mom, to heal her, to cure her, to help her see how much this hurts you, because she knows and she doesn't care. Child, these Thanksgiving and my the a-hole threads had me a little worked up, but let me know all your thoughts below. Have you experienced something like this? Have you had to cut somebody off? Tell me all your thoughts. Don't forget to hit like, comment, and subscribe, and I will see y'all in my next video.